Hi friends, my name is Jake. Welcome to Canadian Cutting Edge. Today we're going to be talking about strops and stropping compound. I primarily focus on knives, and I like to talk about stropping too, because stropping is what can take a good cutting edge into a nice polished mirror edge, or even just a nice cutting edge, a few little strokes across a strop of some kind, and you can get a much better edge without a lot of work, without a lot of effort, without a lot of price, in some cases. Why don't you stick around and listen to what I'm talking about? I'm going to begin with talking about wooden strops, or strops with wood with leather on top. Now, here's a couple strops that I've made myself. I just took a board and, I cut out two little pieces off the sides and made it a little bit thinner so that it would be a strop with a handle, because, hey, people like strops with handles. I bought some leather off of Amazon, and I used glue. I think it was a contact cement that I used, thinly applied. You don't want lumps. And, I made my own strop. I think I made a video already about making strops. So here I've got two strops. I like to do one side, the suede side, and one side, the skin outside. And I use the suede side. I put a more coarse compound on that side and a finer compound on the other side. And, it's fun this way. It works really well, but not everybody has the skill, or let alone desire, to do that. You can buy a strop that's got leather put on it already. Gritomatic is the company that I tend to deal with for my sharpening and stropping stuff. And he's got this strop made by Hapstone. This one's 31 US dollars. That's about 40 Canadian. So you've got two leather strops, and because they're raised, it's okay that it doesn't quite come to the edge, but I do prefer if the leather comes closer to the edge. But this is still pretty good. And it's the outside out on both of these, and it works quite well. It looks nice. It's got a very comfortable handle, better than mine for sure. And very usable, functional, good strop. I recommend it. I'll put a link down below for everything that you're seeing in this video. He's got a couple other leather strops as well that are put on wood. One that's more like this, a little bit smaller than this, but without the handle. And there's another one that's more like this, a little bit like this. He doesn't have this specific model anymore, I don't think, but I got this from him as well. See, it's a little bit smaller, but I like that the leather comes quite to the edge. And it's the outside out on both of them. That seems to be what the professionals recommend, using the outside of the skin of the animal for the leather. I don't know. I'm a little bit different. I'm not saying my way's better. It just works well for me. So I don't have a price for this, but there's one that's just a block without the handle on available. And there's one that's a lot like this, but it's out of stock. You can click on the link to send in your email, and they'll send you an email when they've got it back in stock. So you can do that. You can always communicate directly with the owner of Gritomatic. He knows almost anything and everything about sharpening, and he talks to his customers if you want to talk to him. His link is on the gritomatic.com website, and or I'll leave it also down below the video as well, so that you can email him if you've got any questions on his products. So that's basically the strops. I want to talk to you about stropping compound and smaller strops. So let's move the camera a little closer to the tabletop so we can take a good look. Now, back when I made my how-to video about stropping, I recommended this stuff for the stropping compound. I've taped it shut. So let me just open this up here. There you go. So I've used some of this up. So yeah, this is, the brand Dilux, and it works. It's an okay stropping compound. It's hard. It makes it a little more difficult to get onto the strop. Basically, you can rub it onto the leather. I use a heat gun. You can use a hairdryer in a pinch to warm up the leather first and then put on some compound. No matter what compound you use, it's always best to put on a thin layer of stropping compound. Don't put on too much. More is not better necessarily with stropping compound. But I've already talked about this stuff in the past. It's okay, but there's a whole lot better stuff that doesn't cost much money. So look at this. I had a friend send me some of these. Now, you can get these on Amazon if you want to, and they're okay. They've got a number on them. This one's 1.5, this one's 0.5, this one's 3.5, 2.5, 1.5, and then goes all the way up past 20 or 30. That's the micron size of the compound that is in the material. That stuff works okay, but I found some stuff that I like better. It's made by VENEV. Now, VENEV, this is, I don't have the rest of the package here, but they've got a multi-pack. I know there's a lot of glare with that. And this just gives you stropping compound from, where's the smallest one? From 0 to half a micron in size. And this pack goes all the way up to between 14 and 20 microns in size. And you get 8 different compounds here. Now, what it is it's just, this is just to see what kind of, level of crop, this is just to see what level of compound, what size micron compound you want to use. Basically, you just, generally, it's best to put on a glove and put a little bit on your finger and rub it on the leather. Just a thin layer. It's just a paste. But they've got other options as well. And I really like that stuff. This is $9.50 US for the pack. That's about $12 Canadian. And you get 8 of them. That's going to last you a long time because you don't have to put new stropping compound on every time you strop. No. I find the compound lasts, I can do, 40, 50 knives on, just one little bit of compound. There's other ways to get it. They've got this stuff. This is a paste. Again, this is from Russia. This stuff's $8 Canadian, $6 US. And this is also that 0 to half a micron in size. It's just sort of like a little lipstick, lip paste kind of tube, tiny little hole there. So you can rub it on using this without getting your fingers dirty if you want to. It's a decent compound that works at a low price. You get a whole lot more here than you get in one of these little packets. But they've got others as well. Here's one that's more in the original package. Here it says VID, that's VENEV Industrial Diamonds. And let's take one out. This is, what level is this? This is between 3 and 5 microns. I don't know why they say 5 and 3. I guess the biggest one comes first. $2.05 equals about $2.60 Canadian. So a little bit more coarse, and this is the green color. I suspect the green color for like this kind of stuff is this level, but I don't know for sure. I'm not an expert on stropping. Well, I know how to strop fairly well. I'm certainly not an expert on stropping compound, but this has got, the same kind of tip, and you squeeze it out and rub it into the leather. Like I said, you warm up the leather first using, at least I find it works best to warm up the leather first using a hairdryer, or if you've got a heat gun, that works really well. But they've got a number of different ways to get in this. You got this kind of stuff. They've got this kind of lip balm tube. This is, again, VENEV Diamond Stropping Paste. They've got it in a whole lot of different grits. These two, I think there's about 10 or 12 different grits for each of these. I think there's about 10 or 12 different grits for this stuff. And it's just like that. It's a tube. You turn it and you rub it onto the leather. Now it doesn't want to go back in. A number of different ways to use it. This is a whole lot more, not a whole lot more, but it's more, does it say what size it is? How many grams? Oh, one thing it does say, use between 15 and 30 degrees Celsius. So yeah, room temperature is best for this stuff. And a lot of different compounds, $7.30 or $9 Canadian, roughly $9 Canadian. I've not found this stuff in Canadian stores, so, but buying from Gritomatic, he'll ship to Canada. It doesn't cost that much for shipping, so not a problem that way. If you know which compound you want and you use an awful lot of it, you can get it in a jar. This is, again, 0.5 to 0 microns, and it's in there. You can see I've rubbed a little bit of it out. It wasn't full to the top. This is fairly close to how far it was because I haven't used an awful lot of it. Does it say how many grams this is? I wonder, maybe the 50R means it's 50 grams. I should weigh it. I'll weigh it and I'll put the text on the screen how much this weighs, including the package. And it's, basically the same consistency as it is coming out of these tubes or out of these tubes. So just different ways that you can get it. And again, this is in a number of different micron sizes. But that's not all. Yeah, talking about leather strops, you can use leather strops on your guided sharpening system. Now, this is one of them that I was learning the most on, so it's, somewhat damaged, but it's not terrible. This is, from Gritomatic. He's got these custom made. This is cowhide, $7.90, so $10 Canadian. And you put this into your sharpening system the same way you do when you're sharpening. They don't have them just in this size. They've also got them like the short, wider ones for KME. And, this works on TS Prof and on Hapstone and most of the sharpening systems out there. This will fit in there. The only thing that I say about this is what you want to do is make it about 0.1 to 0.2 degrees greater of an angle than you were sharpening at. I find that worked best for me. Certainly not less of an angle. So if you're sharpening at 20 degrees, set this up at 20.1 degrees and, start stropping. If you go less, you're not going to strop the edge at all. And because it's soft, you might not want to strop at the exact angle, but maybe you can experiment on your own. The biggest thing with this is if you're stropping, let's see, let me pull out a knife here. Let's move these off the picture for a second. So if you're stropping your knife and you're not doing it by hand like this, you're just doing it in the sharpening system. If you're stropping, you only go down. If you go up against the blade at all, you're going to do what I did on that cowhide one. You're going to start chewing it up. And yeah, that's not going to be very good. But other than that, you do the same thing as you do with any other, when you're sharpening. You can go straight down if you want. You can go down and across if you want, like that. Straight down, whatever you want. Just don't go up. That's going to be a problem. The thing is, he's got really cool leathers. He doesn't just have cowhide, which is nice. He's got this stuff. This is shell cordovan. This is a very good leather, much less give to it, so you can strop better. I didn't do a good job of putting this compound on. See how it's blotchy? So I need to actually wipe a lot of this off and start again, heat it up and clean it up. But there's really good stropping strops there. He's got Kangaroo as well. Kangaroo works very well. See how thin that is? Kangaroo leather. You can strop with that. This is $11.50. That's about $15 Canadian. This stuff's about $19.50. That's about $25 Canadian, the cordovan. Here's another one, the shell cordovan. Again, that same price, $19.50, about $25. It's good stuff. I mean, you can get good stropping done with these. If you want, perfection, these are good for perfection. If you're just wanting to strop on your system, get the little less expensive, about $8 cowhide, or check this out. This is balsa wood. And balsa wood, you can do it the same way as leather. I've actually got one that I threw out already. I damaged it myself with this. It didn't come this way. But you can put stropping compound on here, that diamond compound, the same way. Warm it up, put a very thin layer of compound on, and strop the same way you do with the leather. Works very, very well. Now, from my friend, the guy who gave me that other stuff, he also sent me a whole bunch of stuff. Leather that's just individual. Now, I'm hesitating to send this to you, to put this in the video, because I don't know where you can buy this stuff. But if you can buy leather and you know how to cut it, you can cut it thin, have some wood. This is just part of a pressed board, actually. And you can put stropping compound just on the board, or you can glue a piece of leather onto the board. And if you buy the leather separately, you can do it the way I like too. You can put the flesh side out if you want to. And this is just a piece of oak that I've stropped with, put compound on there, and it works. Or that press board, or you can use particle board, or whatever you want. The cheap way of doing it is you can make your own stuff if you want to. Now, what I always do, and you might have seen some of these numbers on here, I have a label maker because I can't always keep track of everything just in my mind. And writing on here, sometimes it comes off, so I use a label maker. This has a green 5-micron compound on here that I was stropping with just on the wood, and it works. I tested this with 40 microns. This piece had about 2 microns, half a micron. You get the point. This one, I didn't label it for some reason. And the balsa, I haven't put it on this one yet. I also do the same thing on my wooden strops. But I didn't use a label maker, and see, it's getting hard to read now. This is between 2 and 1 microns on that side. This side is half a micron to 0 in size. And I mark it out because I've, on the knives that I really want to get really, really nicely polished, I'll go through 3 or 4 different compounds, getting finer and finer until I've got it really highly polished. But as you saw on the video that I posted just a couple days ago about the my Leah, that new Steel by Artisan cutlery, the AR RPM 9, that was just using, I think, 5-micron strop, and I stropped on it for less than 2 minutes. And, it came out very, very well. So you don't need a whole bunch of this stuff like I have shown in this video. If you just have a little bit of stuff, you can get a very good result. If your budget is really tight and all you can afford is, one of these tubes at $2.05, this is a really good size to start at. Between 5 and 3 microns, you're going to get some good results, and you won't have spent a lot of money at all. And you can put that on your hand strop or on your guided sharpening strop, and be very good and have a good result. I found that I tend not to use this stuff very much. It takes longer than my hand stropping on the wooden strop. But for those of you who just can't seem to get good results on a wooden strop or a belt strop, it just is not working out for you at all, no matter what you try and how long you've tried, then I encourage you to get guided sharpening strops, because this is the way to do it, where you don't have to, angle your hand perfectly. You don't have to hold the knife just right. All you have to do is set it up, and just like sharpening, you just drop, and it works. Watch my video on how to strop for pointers. The main kinds of things are, don't use too much pressure when you're stropping. It's best to go over the edge, 50 times with light pressure than it is to go 5 times with hard pressure. Too much pressure, and you actually start to round the edge off, and then you'd have a dull knife. It might be a pretty nice mirror, but it's not going to be sharp. So that's a nutshell how to get the good results. Thank you so much for watching my video. Check out gritomatic.com down below. I don't have a coupon code for you, but please do let him know that Jake from Canadian Cutting Edge sent you. Till next time, remember friends, always cut towards your chum, not your thumb. Bye for now.